Imagine a time when the pursuit of knowledge was the highest calling. For over 500 years, while other regions slumbered, a brilliant civilization did more than just advance. It illuminated the entire world. This was the Islamic Golden Age. From the 8th to the 13th centuries, a vast empire stretched from the shores of Spain to the borders of India. This wasn't just a political empire, it was an empire of the mind. Under enlightened rulers like Caliph al-Ma'mun in Baghdad, a city that became the world's intellectual capital, a monumental project began. This was the House of Wisdom. More than a library, it was a global think tank. Here, with a mandate from the Caliph himself, scholars, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, were commissioned to gather all human knowledge. They hunted for manuscripts, translating the works of Plato, Aristotle, Ptolemy, and Galen from Greek, Persian, and Sanskrit into Arabic. They weren't just saving books, they were building a foundation. But this era was defined by doing, not just preserving. In astronomy, they moved from theory to precise observation. Al-Battani's calculations of the solar year were accurate to within minutes. They compiled incredibly detailed star catalogues, and the names they gave to stars like Betelgeuse, Rigel, and Aldebaran are still used by astronomers today. Their work refined the astrolabe, the navigational computer of its age. Perhaps their most profound legacy is in the language of the universe itself, mathematics. The Persian scholar Al-Khwarizmi wrote a book that solved complex problems using a method he called algebra, meaning completion or reunion of broken parts. This was the birth of algebra. It transformed math from a tool for accountants into a powerful language for abstract reasoning. And from the Latin version of his name, we get the word algorithm, the fundamental concept behind every piece of computer code that runs our modern world. In medicine, they established a system we would recognize today. They built the first modern hospitals with separate wards for contagious diseases, surgeries, and recovery. These were teaching hospitals, open to all, funded by charitable endowments. The physician Al-Razi was a master of observation. He wrote the first definitive clinical descriptions of smallpox and measles, noting their distinct symptoms. His vast medical encyclopedia was a cornerstone of learning. But the towering figure was Ibn Sina, or Avicenna. His million-word masterpiece, The Canon of Medicine, was a systematic compilation of all medical knowledge. It described diseases, anatomy, and treatments for hundreds of conditions. For over 6 centuries, it was the most influential medical textbook in both the East and the West, the ultimate authority. The spirit of inquiry was boundless. Ibn al-Haytham founded the modern science of optics, proving that we see because light enters our eyes. The engineer Al-Jazari designed fantastical automated machines, water-raising devices, and is celebrated as the father of robotics. The geographer Al-Idrisi, for a Norman king in Sicily, produced a world map that remained the most accurate for 300 years. This golden age was not eternal. The Mongol invasion of 1258 and the sacking of Baghdad was a catastrophic blow. The House of Wisdom was destroyed, and countless manuscripts were lost. But the knowledge was not erased. It had already spread like seeds on the wind. Centers of learning in Spain, Sicily, and the Byzantine Empire became the new conduits. A massive translation movement began again, this time from Arabic into Latin. The works of these great thinkers became the textbooks for scholars like Roger Bacon and Thomas Aquinas, directly igniting the European Renaissance. The Islamic Golden Age was more than a chapter in history. It was the indispensable bridge between antiquity and the modern world. They were the guardians who saved the flame of knowledge, fanned it into a blaze, and passed it on for all humanity. They didn't just live in their time, they built ours.